A thought struck me recently, and I was just thinking about how non-artists are so much more precious and careful with artwork than the actual artists themselves, or at least than I am with mine. I do get it. It's precious in a way, and you should be gentle with things that aren't really yours. But I think about it and I just think some people would be appalled with the way that I can treat my paintings. I have a hard time, well, one, keeping paint just where I want it in terms of the studio and not on my things, and that definitely doesn't happen. So sometimes there's just extra paintings stack up and they're there in the studio, and as you can see here, I sometimes like to use very, very thin layers of paint, and the more liquid that paint gets, the more it just likes to just fly around the studio, much like the butterfly that I'm painting here. And I've had food and drinks in the studio, something else that you probably really shouldn't do around paints health-wise. I'm not recommending it, but also at the same time, when you do this all day for a living, then you gotta eat at some point, and honestly, stopping painting is not really an option, in my opinion. And the thing with it is, people see and receive the best of a painting. You see its final version, and you want to be careful with it because that is hours and hours of somebody's life just slapped on a canvas or a gesso board like this. And it's like when you go out in public and you're, just because of other people out and about, and you want to maybe be polite, you're on your best behavior. You have the clothes you wear when you go out of the house versus you're just staying in the house. And the thing is, I have to live with these paintings up close and personal. 24/7, that's where they are. As soon as they've begun, they have residence in the house, they have residence in my mind and my head. I'm thinking about them, but mostly the fact that they have residence in my house and on my easel and in my studio mean that these paintings and I have seen the best and the worst of each other, which sometimes includes eating right up and close with a painting and then having to wipe a little coffee off of a painting, maybe just some tea perhaps. I do try, and I've been striving. Once a painting is done and it looks immaculate, I am getting better at making sure that I am then storing said painting and keeping it out of harm's way of the many flying specks of paint. I'm careful with it, just like I'm careful with this liner brush. I'm still experimenting with the liner brush and getting a feel for how it moves across the painting, the level of consistency that I want with the paint and the liner brush. It is very particular in that way, but I feel like once you get down your paint consistency and the firmness or gentleness of the stroke, that it's going to be quite a valuable tool in my arsenal. As soon as I feel really comfortable with it, I definitely want to start implementing and using it in some really awesome geometric line work that I've been wanting to experiment with as I've been experimenting with the Flower of Life designs, which is in the background of this piece. If you missed the background being made, you can check out the other butterfly video. It's a burgundy flower, and I'll show you the beginning process where I did actually start off with the Flower of Life pattern all the way in the background and then had another layer of paint over top of that. I wiped some of that away, got some cool texture effects, and then we arrived here where I've been doing the process of painting this butterfly, which also stems from more studies of the sacred geometry ideas, there's a way that you can break down butterflies. And I am still learning the math on that, but if you go and look, there's a lot of videos on that. There's something that are always on my radar. And here I am just using the liner brush again to try to define the shapes, and that's something else that I'm always playing with my art and trying to figure out the exact level of detail, because I do feel like for every subject there is a perfect amount of detail, and it is absolutely an art to figure that out, because you can easily overdo it, not put in enough detail, just complete. I mean, and to be fair, some people do like absolute complete abstraction, but I'm really exploring with finding this balance that I've been looking for between the order and the chaos, and there is a fine line that you walk, and you can only do it by trying it over and over and over and over again, trying to train your eye to see what it is that you want to convey, what you want to portray. A journey I'm constantly happy to be on. I hope you've enjoyed this today and that you have a wonderful week ahead. I'll see you next time. Bye.